Liberty Nation with Tim Donner.
January 20th beckons, and the transition from Donald Trump to Joe Biden is about as stark as could be. A return to the days and ways of establishment rule, or perhaps a sharp turn to the left, is just days away. Well, one thing's for sure, it won't be America first or make America great again. And today, we will examine how the politics and culture of the country is likely to change upon the return of the number two man in the Obama administration and the departure of arguably, or perhaps inarguably, the most controversial president in American history. And so we unleash our first 2021 Liberty Nation Radio B&B panel, the best and brightest from libertynation.com. Joining us in this special pre-inaugural B&B panel are political columnist Joe Schaeffer, socio-political correspondent Jeff Charles, and Heartland correspondent Sarah Cowgill. Sarah, let's start with you and the outgoing president. The Trump brand has certainly taken a hit since the insurrection at the U.S. Capitol as the Electoral College vote was being tallied. How do you think this will affect support for Trump once he becomes a private citizen again?
I think that's going to depend on what the president does when he does become a private citizen again. I mean, he's already boycotting the inauguration and nobody blames him for that. And, you know, I think his supporters are they're still pro-Trump. They believe that there has been, you know, a bad election. The results are not legitimate. And so you're not going to see a lot of people dropping off of there. You might see some of the people that have been on the fence all along about Trump begrudgingly saying, oh, well, you know, his economy's doing well, but he's so rude or he's bombastic or he needs to stay off of Twitter. Those people, yeah, they're just, you know, they're going to always be the grumpy Joes in the process. But the people who really are his support, I don't think you're going to see them going anywhere. I think they'll follow him. And I think they'll follow, you know, if he embraces a new kind of candidate to step up, if he embraces the fact that he might want to run again, I think his people will follow him.
So, Jeff, there's no longer any question that there will be retribution against Trump and his supporters across the country and likely in Congress. It's just a matter of how and how much. What form do you think this retribution will take?
Yeah, Tim, I think it's going to take a lot of different forms, pretty much any form that the left can think of. I mean, they were already talking about wielding a lawfare campaign against the president once he gets out of office. There's a lot of lawsuits that they plan on pushing. They're going to be looking into his business dealings. They want to harass him for as long as possible. When it comes to GOP lawmakers, I mean, they're already introducing legislation to expel them because they dared to go through a legal process to object to some of the results of the presidential election. But even when it comes to people who worked in the White House, I mean, you've got people like the Lincoln Project who is trying to get in the good graces of the left and keeps failing. They just announced that they're going to be taking names. They're going to be not releasing private information, but their objective is to try to ruin their careers going forward. So it's going to take a lot of different forms. I'm not sure how successful they'll be. I suspect that they won't be too successful, but they are going to try to hurt people affiliated with Trump as much as they possibly can.
Okay, so now we go to you, Joe. How should Trump voters, law-abiding citizens, process and respond to the reality of a Biden presidency when so many of them believe he's an illegitimate president?
Well, they need to realize that this is a hostile situation. The Biden forces, which is really, it's a uniparty power grab, and they need to realize anything they do is going to be micromanaged to fit into a narrative to attack them. So the opposition needs to be disciplined and organized, peaceful, of course, which it largely is, 99% is, but it also needs to identify who its friends are and who its opponents are. Most of the Republicans in Congress are not the opposition to this unit-party power grab. Mitch McConnell is part of this incoming administration for all practical purposes. So it is an America First opposition. It's hard to use the word loyal opposition when the powers to be want to destroy you. How can you be loyal when they want to destroy you? So they need to identify who their friends are, who their opponents are, organize, and have a cohesive, coherent response. And it starts with primarying Republicans in 2022. That's still a couple years away, but you have to build up to that. You have to start building the machinery up to that. And it all leads to that organized, cohesive, America First response to what is going to be a hostile situation.
Okay, Sarah, let's pursue this idea of the loyal opposition a little bit. I think it's a stretch to call what the Democrats were these last 4 years loyal opposition. But now the script is flipped, and it's up to the Republicans. How are they going to handle the position of the loyal opposition after everything that's gone down?
Well, you're gonna find a bunch of angry people still out there. As much as we saw that after the 2016 election, with 2 years solid of just crying and wailing and howling at the moon and banging on Supreme Court doors and showing up as handmaids. I mean, these people were Looney Tunes for 2 years. And then when they took the House, they got busy. They're going to get busy. All they're going to do is fight against Trump people. But they're dealing with people who are saying, bring it on. They're not afraid of this. They are not afraid of the Democrats coming after them. They're afraid they won't. So I don't think you're going to see a lot of people backing off and going underground and staying out of the "we support Trump" limelight. As far as I can see, that Trump base is still out there, still strong, still very vocal.
Jeff, my question to you would be, after what happened at the U.S. Capitol, the riot, the shootings, the deaths, is violence likely to increase because of this event, or is it likely to decrease?
Yeah, so I don't expect to see much more from the right when it comes to political violence. It's not something that we as normal conservatives actually do. You might have a few incidents here and there, but unfortunately for the media, which would love for this to happen, I don't think it's going to be a thing. Now, this doesn't mean that groups like Antifa are going to let up. I think that maybe they'll focus their energy in a different way. They hated Biden, but they hated Trump more. So, I mean, and on top of that, with the base on the right that is energized, we're still going to be having our events. We're still going to be doing our thing, and Antifa will still show up to try to stop that. So I don't know if there's going to be much of a decrease in political violence. I think maybe during the summer of this year we might see some more of it, but like I was saying, I don't expect a whole lot more from the right. I think we may have learned our lesson. I think that this was a wake-up call for the right.
Hi, I'm Lisa K. Donner, along with Mark Angelides, Sarah Cowgill, Tim Donner, and Scott Cosenza, and this is Liberty Nation.
Now let's take a look at the LibertyNation.com electoral leaderboard. It's still 238 for Joe Biden.
What if stories and legends can offer us the key to unraveling the hottest political issues of the day and apply their lessons to understanding the chaos of modern politics?
Impeach 45!
Only where freedom of speech is honored can people who look, sound, or think differently be truly free.
If you're discussing something that's difficult, the probability that you're not going to offend each other is zero.
President-elect of the United States of America, Donald Trump.
Donald J. Trump is now president.
With one click, Liberty Nation delivers tomorrow's news.
And remember, liberty.
Today.
All the time and everywhere.
LibertyNation.com.